What's up guys, and welcome to a new Cocky Boy 445 video. Today we will be taking a look at a certain fatherless anime character whose nan also fucks off to god knows where every evening to get shit-faced drunk and do no things which I can't say on YouTube. So after writing that initial bit, I finally get why so many of you guys wanted to see this guy in this video format. Y'all probably relate a bit too much to his backstory. You know, honestly, backstory of an average British teen, to be honest. Except the guy we are talking about is actually cool, unlike you. Yeah, I'm calling you out, little T.
Yo, yeah, slide the bifter, I'm gonna rape your little sister.
Okay, but enough clowning for now, admittedly. Today's video is all about Yusuke Urameshi from the hit anime series YU HAKUSHO and how far my dumbass thinks he would get in Dragon Ball with just his own in-universe abilities. I feel like I have to lay this line on you extra thick because there is always that one comment that goes like, but what if they learned Ki, Mr. Judge? They would get much further. Bro, shut your goofy ass up. Obviously they would get further. We all know that. But the entire point of these videos is how far I believe them to get with just their own powers. Otherwise, I would title the video, How far would Yusuke get in Dragon Ball if he learned Ki, had the Infinity Stones, brought all his friends and got 10 free wishes on the Dragon Balls? But back to Yusuke. Like we said before, he is the main character of Yu Yu Hakusho, where he functions as a spirit detective to protect the human world from all manners of supernatural threats. He does this alongside his street gang of misfit minions, which includes but is not limited to Kuwabara, Kurama, the guy whose name I can never pronounce, Keiko, Genkai, Koenma and Botan. At the start of the story, Yusuke is a regular 14-year-old middle schooler who is the strongest guy at his school. Admittedly, beating up some middle schoolers is not much of an achievement, but we have to remember that all Japanese people are super advanced fighters, so, you know, he's probably stronger than I think. Let's be honest there. But he's not a complete nonce because he does save a child from being hit by a car, but sadly dies in the process. Alright lads, that's the end of this video. Thank you all so much for Huh? It goes on? Really? Like really? Okay, slight mistake on my part. While that, he meets a cute waifu called Botan, who also happens to be the literal Grim Reaper. She tells him his crusty ass is not needed in the spirit world because he did some unnecessary shit like saving a kid that wasn't going to die anyway, and tells him to fuck off back to life. Except she might have said it a little nicer than I just said, but I don't think so. Nah. Yusuke initially declines, but after attending his own funeral and seeing that people actually give a shit about him, he accepts the offer to return to the world of the living. He gets some dollar store chicken egg or whatever which he needs to hatch, but he felt that becoming a Disney princess was far more fun, so he did that instead. He gets kissed by somebody very close to him and fulfills the conditions to be allowed back to life, but he has to be a good little boy because the chicken that hatched from the egg would eat his booty hole if he was naughty. And thus begins his life as the Earth's new spirit detective whose role it is to defeat all manners of apparitions and protect humanity from the dangers. So let's take a look at Yusuke's abilities. For starters, Yusuke has always been strong, but after obtaining spirit power he can definitely be qualified as someone who has superhuman strength. An example of this is when he punched so fast and hard he created a shockwave which knocks out an amateur boxer during the chapter Black arc. I really need to look at what the Japanese eat because they seem to pump out roided out, maxed out teenagers by the dozens. Honestly, this shit is just ridiculous at this point, but you know, moving on. Yusuke also has very good stamina, especially after his Mazoku rebirth. He is shown running at a good pace for multiple days without being tired afterwards. To add on to his insane stamina, he is also much faster than your average bloke. His exact speed is not really stated anywhere specifically to my knowledge at least, but he can overtake cars on bikes and, you know, dodge lightning bolts. Even Ryder has to show some respect to that one. Whilst not as durable as your average DBZ and beyond character, Yusuke does know how to take punches. Both Bakken and Chu threw some heavy hits at him, but Yusuke was seemingly just fine and dandy after getting hit with the equivalent of a giant fucking boulder. But let's get to the cool shit. When Yusuke came back to life, he obtained the ability to use spirit energy for all types of, different manners of use. He can use his energy to fly, just like the fighters in Dragon Ball can achieve by using their ki. He can detect other spirit energy users by focusing on their energy signatures. But his favorite usage by far of the spirit energy is through his spirit gun and his multiple variations. Like the name implies, Yusuke's spirit gun is a technique where he fires projectiles of energy from his index finger. Whilst initially a technique with limited uses per day, he became able to use it virtually unlimited amounts of times after his 3-year training arc in the Demon World. The Spirit Gun has a couple of variations like the Spirit Gun Mega. Disclaimer, it's only called that way in video games, but it does appear in the anime, it's just not really named. But this is where Yusuke gathers all of his spirit energy in one single blast. It's basically a max power output Spirit Gun in layman's terms. After being reborn as a Mazoku, he gains access to demon energy as well. By utilizing this type of energy, he can transform his Spirit Gun into a Demon Gun. This is structurally the same thing as his Spirit Gun, except the power output is much stronger than when he was just using his spirit energy. And just like the regular Spirit Gun, this version also has a max power output mode called the Demon Gun Mega. He can also manipulate the way his Spirit Gun fires. He can, for example, change his single bullet into a scatter shot similar to a shotgun. It is important to note that the individual strength of each scattered bullet is weaker than his regular single shot Spirit Gun, but it has a different use case anyway, so the lack in power is compensated for an increase in like range or, however you want to call it. He also has several tricks he uses, such as firing 2 Spirit Guns in rapid succession, where the second bullet essentially pushes the first bullet forward, resulting in amplified strength. He can also just expunge his Spirit Blast from his entire body instead of just his index finger, allowing for more close range blasts. And what I mean by this is, let's say an enemy is like super close to him, they're literally in his face. He obviously wouldn't be able to just point his finger at them and fire, so he would just expunge it from like, for example, his chest or whatever. It's a really like close range kamikaze blast type thing. Well, he doesn't really hurt himself. But aside from shooting his spirit energy outward, he can also gather spirit energy in his limbs, arms, legs, to imbue his kicks and punches with spirit energy. The last technique I want to talk about is his actual Mazoku form, or however you want to pronounce it, which is pretty much his version of the generic power-up similar to a Super Saiyan or any other power-up in shonen anime. The true power increase of this form is not specifically stated like Super Saiyan is though, where we know that, regular Super Saiyan is just a locked times 50 multiplier of somebody's base power. We don't know what the exact multiplier is for his Mazoku form. At least to my knowledge, it's never stated to be like a times X multiplier. It's just like, oh, he gets stronger. It's not really clear how much stronger he essentially gets. I mean, you could make some estimates, but there's, as far as I could find anyway, no real documentation of how strong this form makes him. But there are also some anime and movie exclusive powers though. I believe exclusively in the anime, Yusuke was able to create his own like little version of sacred power during his fight against Yomi. And exclusively in the movies, Yusuke is shown to use the scatter shot from both hands at the same time in contrast to just using one hand. And he is shown to use the power sphere to combine the powers of himself and his friends. Now that I feel we have a decent grasp on what Yusuke is actually capable of in terms of, abilities, powers, etc., I think it's high time to see how far I believe our local problem child would get in Dragon Ball. Starting off, I can confidently say that as per usual, the Pilaf gang is going to get the Team Rocket treatment because even a pre-resurrection Yusuke could probably just kick their ass. I honestly don't even know why I include the Pilaf gang in these videos, because they really can't do anything. I suppose I do it because it's like the first quote-unquote real enemy the team faces, but they're pushovers, let's not beat around the bush. The Red Ribbon Army, however, could add some troublesome opponents, like General Blue, Android 8, Mercenary Tau, but I honestly believe Yusuke would also steamroll them. Especially later on in the series, I believe Yusuke is just plain stronger than these guys. I've noticed a lot of people really underestimating him. I mean, I'll give a little spoiler, I don't believe he gets too far in Dragon Ball, but anybody who says that like Mercenary Tau can beat this guy, I believe they're just clowning because I don't see it. I honestly don't see it, how Tau would be able to beat Yusuke. I feel like Yusuke would literally like want to kill Tau. Like, he's a lot stronger than I think people assume him to be, but that might just be my misconception of other people like looking at the scenario, but whatever. I also believe that he would even defeat the 22nd World Tournament and even King Piccolo. King Piccolo is a real challenger for Yusuke though, because judging by the feats we see, I'd say DKP is capable of giving Yusuke a very good fight. But I do believe Yusuke would be able to defeat DKP in the end. My reasoning for this is that I'd reckon Yusuke near the end of the series is probably on the level of, if not stronger than, the Kid Goku that beat DKP. Both Yusuke and Kid Goku were able to dodge lightning before it hit the ground, and Yusuke has shown destructive feats on a level similar to that or even slightly surpassing that of DKP. Yusuke reaches a ceiling once we get to the 23rd World Tournament and beyond though. Both Piccolo and Goku at this point have eclipsed Yusuke in terms of speed, strength, durability, etc. I just personally can't see a way Yusuke could realistically beat either of them, but for argument's sake, let's say he manages to win, right? Because I know people will say in the comments that I am lowballing Yusuke, but post 23rd World Tournament Piccolo destroyed the moon. At this point in time, he wasn't even that much stronger than he was back during the tournament power level wise. Raditz took that same attack like it was nothing. Yusuke would be turned into dust if he were hit by that. Honestly, I believe he would not be able to survive that, or if he survived, he would be one fucking destroyed boy. Like, he would not be able to get up easily at all. Anything post 23rd World Tournament is just so much stronger than Yusuke is. Yusuke can flex all he wants, but anything just post 23rd World Tournament will obliterate him without a trace. Don't let this deceive you into thinking that Yusuke is weak though. The problem is honestly just that Raditz has just such an insane high power creep compared to like the previous villains. Raditz is just a real showstopper for a lot of shonen main characters. Like, there's pretty much, I'd say 90% of regular shonen anime would not be able to beat Raditz. Yusuke making it this far is already a massive accomplishment if you ask me. But where would you guys rank Yusuke in the Dragon Ball universe? Did you think I put him too high on the list, or did I perhaps, put him way too low? Just let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more similar content in the future, please subscribe and hit the bell icon to never miss another video ever again. If you want to support me in another way, I recently set up a channel membership option. It's only $5 a month, but please only spend your money on supporting me if you can actually miss it. Things are expensive enough already as things stand, and I don't want people to get monetary issues because they want, they feel they want to support me. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.